Hello, my name is Ken West and I'm Director of Education for a salon called 365hair.com. We work with hairdressing salons all over the country, helping them to run more profitable and more successful businesses. What we don't coach them is hairdressing, we coach them business skills, the skills that no one ever coached them when they learned the practical skills that turned them into the tradespeople that they are. A few weeks ago, when this whole corona crisis started, I was producing videos for our members on a regular basis, the people that I work with all over the country on a regular basis. And I was asked to produce some videos that, because of the sort of content that I work on, would be relevant to anybody out there, whether they're in hairdressing or any other business. So that's what I've been doing on a regular basis, and this is kind of my latest update. Although I produce videos that are just for the use of our members, these videos you can share with anybody. Anybody out there that may benefit from any crumb that I say, because I learned so much from other people during my journey. And if there's one thing that I know that I can share with anybody that will help them through this crisis, then you are most welcome to it. I'm more than happy for you to share these videos with anybody that you know. Okay, we're in our third week of this interesting situation that we find ourselves in, a sort of episode that I've never known in my lifetime before. And hopefully we will never experience again, but something that's made us think about our lives in a very, very different way. And I look at people around us and I look at the way we're engaging with our friends and our family, and we're doing things in different ways. And that won't change. There will be a new norm when we come out of this, and I will talk about that later. I've said to some of my members that whilst we're in this process, they should look at some things in their business. The first thing I'm going to say to you is, okay, this is Wednesday the 8th. There was a great government release this morning on their updates, talking about the job retention scheme, how that's going to function, how the money's going to get to you. And if you're in a position where you want to educate any of your team whilst they're on furlough, how this might affect people that you may have on your team that are being paid minimum wage. Great information to read, and if you're not looking at these government updates, then I would urge that you get them. They're sent to your phone free of charge every day. You just have to sign up for them, so please sign up for them. If you have got any people that you're currently furloughing, then one thing I would say to you is make sure that you've followed the procedure for furloughing, the legal procedure that requires you to issue them with documents and furloughing letters that they have to agree to. You can't just furlough someone without them agreeing to this. In our particular body, we have a National Hairdressing Federation, and they have produced the required letters for salons to use. So anyone that's in the world that I'm in, then just go to the NHBF website and they will give you the letters free of charge. Anybody else out there, just seek whoever it is that you seek legal advice from, and they will make sure that you follow the right process. One thing I did ask people to do whilst we were in this situation was look at the way they keep their records. Now, a lot of small businesses are very haphazard with the way they keep their records, and I suggested that my members certainly look at digitalising all their accounts processes whilst they've got time to do it. Because although many of you will know that PAYE has to be now digitally returned to the HMRC, I believe that we are not long off having to do that for all of our financial records. So please now look at digitalisation, if it's a word to say, whilst you've got the time to look at all the options that are out there before it's made compulsory. I'm going to ask you all to understand any money that you may be borrowing at the moment. And what I mean by that was, in one of my first videos, I suggested that you take the money. There's grants and loans available to businesses to help them through this difficult time. And I would suggest you take them, because it's far better to have the money in your bank in case you need it than sitting in the bank's bank and you've got to then try and get it. What I would say to you now, though, because this money is now coming through, is that only spend what you need, and remember this. A grant is a grant, a loan is a loan. So any loans you take out will have to be repaid, whereas the grants won't. Now, if you're not a financial wizard and you don't often borrow money and therefore you're not used to following this process, you need to be aware that although the government have agreed to cover the interest and any setup fees for loans for their first 12 months, that doesn't mean that the terms of any loan you take out is going to be interest free for its lifetime. So yes, the government will pick up the interest and the fees for the first year, but after that, you want to fully understand the agreement that it is you're signing with your bank. I've heard people being offered interest-only loans. I've had people offered interest and repayment, capital repayment loans, and there are different schemes available, but you need to understand them. You need to understand when that day of reckoning comes, where you're going to get the money from to repay the capital. If you take an interest-only loan out, then obviously you won't be paying any interest for the first 12 months because the government will cover it. So you'll feel happy days, hunky-dory, and then suddenly you'll have to start paying interest. And then at the end of the period, you'll have to find that lump sum. Now, can you imagine having borrowed £25,000? You then suddenly find 2-3 years down the line, maybe even a year down the line, that you've got to repay that capital, depending upon the agreement that you sign with your bank. Where will you get that money from? In my very first video, I said, if your business wasn't profitable before this crisis, it's highly unlikely that it's going to be profitable afterwards. So what I would urge you to consider this is, how are you going to make the extra money after you reopen your business again to cover the capital repayments for any loans that you take out from the bank? Now, it's quite possible to do this, but you certainly won't be able to carry on working in the way you're working, because where would you find that extra profit from to repay those loans? Now, I know some people that have got it absolutely nailed how they're going to do it, but I also know some people that have no idea and haven't even thought of it, because some small business people just don't like doing cash flow forecasts and profit and loss forecasts, and they don't understand them and they leave them to their accountants. And the accountants will produce accounts for you, but they won't necessarily give you the right guidance on how to make more money to repay these loans that you could end up owing. So be careful. Be careful and realise this, that when we come out of this crisis, and we will come out of it, there's going to be a new norm. Whatever sort of customer you deal with, whether it's an on the high street retail outlet, whether it's hairdressing like I'm in, whether it's building, whatever business you're in, the world is going to be a different place and people will expect different things from you. If you have a physical outlet in any way, shape or form, then the way we interact with our customers may be differently in the future. I think the general public will be wary of working too closely with people. They will be wary of cross-contamination. They will be wary of businesses that aren't hygienic, that aren't following the right recommendations to keep their business healthy. So I think you need to think about how you run your business. I'm certainly saying to the people that I work with, hairdressing salons, we're going to have to spread out people. We're going to have to open longer hours. We're going to think about using shifts for our teams. We're going to look at working differently with our clients because they won't want to be squeezed in. They want great service. They want personalised attention. They want us to take care of them. And in the new norm, I don't believe we're going to be able to compete on price like people used to. People used to think that the one way of getting business, or the best way, or the only way of getting business, was to undercut someone else. Excuse me. I don't know how you're going to do that afterwards, because you are going to have to make the profits to get yourself back on your feet again. So you're not going to be able to win business just by cutting prices. You're going to have to win business by offering better value for money. And whatever business you're in, you're going to have to think about how you do that. Obviously, with the salons I work with, I share lots of ideas with them on how they can add value instead of reducing price. Because if all you do is compete on price, someone will always undercut you. So take the opportunity now to look at your business, look at your pricing, look at the way you run your business so that it doesn't rely upon discounting, so that it relies upon delivering a quality product at the right price to make the profits that you want. And if you don't currently plan how much profit you're going to make, then how are you going to plan to repay the capital for any loans that you may have borrowed? And many businesses run for a year and then they wait for their accounts to come through and then they find out how much profit they've made. Instead of planning from the get-go what they need to charge when compared to the costs of their business and serving their guests, they then understand how much profit they're going to make at the end of the day. This is how great businesses, successful businesses run. They don't just think of a price for whatever product or service it is they're going to deliver. They don't look at the competition necessarily and see if they need to undercut them or whether they need to charge the same price as them. They may look at ensuring that their product is competitive, but there's no point in being competitive if you're also not profitable. So I would urge you to truly take these few weeks, and I believe we're going to have, sadly, another couple of weeks at least when we're going to be in this situation. I would urge you to take this time to truly understand how your business makes money. Now, those of you that work with the organisation that I'm a director of on a regular basis have all those tools at hand. But if you're not with a club like ours, if you haven't got a business coach like us, then find the advice out there so that you understand what you need to do to generate the profits that you're going to have to in the future. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope we all come out of this unscathed. I hope we all reopen our business again. Sadly, I think there are businesses that won't reopen. And actually, I think there are businesses that shouldn't reopen because they were on the brink beforehand. So for the time being, stay safe, but more importantly, stay sane, because sometimes this stuff can drive us nuts. I regularly wake up not knowing what day of the week it is. I watch a movie and then at the end of it, I come out and I go, oh, God, that's still going on. And you escape into a different reality, and then you come back with a bang to the fact that we are still in lockdown. We're still queuing up in supermarkets. We've still got thousands of people dying. This is a horrible situation, and we have to take care of ourselves. We have to respect what the government is trying to do to protect us, whether we agree with it or not. Whether you want to go and meet your friends and see your family and chat to your friends and all this sort of stuff, don't do it. Not just for yourself, but for everybody else around you. Every unnecessary journey and every unnecessary contact risks spreading the virus that is killing thousands. There will be an end to this. There will be a fabulous life after it. So I was going to say enjoy yourself, but don't enjoy yourself. If you're in business, spend the time that you've now got working on your business, because you can't work in your business. Thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you again. Take care.